Severe thunderstorms targeting parts of central and eastern Kentucky as we go through the evening. We'll show you how we have more to come just ahead.
We're tracking the search for a couple who have not been seen in days, while the search spans a large part of this state.
Kentucky's newest attraction brings in thousands of visitors and a few protesters on the first day it's open to the public.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon to you. It is a different day, but you can tell on the Defender radar network behind us, it is the same story when it comes to the weather. We have more showers and storms moving across the region.
Our WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day remains in place because of this threat. Let's go right to our Chief Meteorologist, Chris Bailey.
Yeah, a line of thunderstorms targeting southern Kentucky, and it's bringing a two-pronged attack. You've got the flash flood threat, you've got the severe thunderstorm threat. That watch, by the way, extended much farther to the east than the original watch. This goes until 9 o'clock this evening. Defender radar network is lining up with a potent band of thunderstorms stretching from near Louisville into the Lake Cumberland area, and it is rolling its way toward the east, packing winds potentially greater than 60 miles an hour. Severe thunderstorm warning out for Adair, Casey, Russell, and Taylor counties. That'll go until 4:15 Central Time, 5:15 Eastern, obviously. Flash flood warning is also out for several counties. That will include Russell Springs, Jamestown, Russell County over into Adair County, and also newly issued McCreary, Pulaski, and Wayne counties, where you had some local high water issues a little earlier. Leading edge of the worst of the weather is just to the west of folks here in the Powersburg, southwest of Monticello, right on top of Lake Cumberland, working its way quickly in. Had a little wind damage reported just to the west of the Campbellsville area with this line that is working into Columbia, into Campbellsville. Liberty, it's heading in your direction over the next little bit, and that continues into parts of Elizabethtown. Severe thunderstorm warning is out for this cell that gets very close to Bardstown into sections of Nelson County. So here's a little better look at that line of thunderstorms. The northern edge is likely to begin to weaken just a little bit. New severe thunderstorm warning popping in on your map there into parts of southern Kentucky. Looks like that is southern Russell County and into Clinton and Cumberland counties. But overall, this line is going to continue to work toward the east and then slowly drop toward the southeast. It's moving at 50 miles per hour right now. So it's on top of Campbellsville and eventually Monticello. It will be on top of you around 5:25 or so. Somerset, maybe Danville getting in on the act in about an hour or a little under, as again, that tries to slide its way off from northwest to southeast. The northern edge should begin to weaken just a little bit. We'll watch the southern edge to take over very shortly, but flash flooding is likely the biggest threat that we face as we go with this line across southern Kentucky. Guys, we'll come back in just a little bit. We'll keep you up to date on the latest warnings, obviously, and we'll show you how we're not done with the storms just yet.
Unfortunately, thank you, Chris. And check out this damage from heavy rains in western Kentucky. Part of a road collapsed in Marshall County, swallowing a truck. No one was hurt. More than a dozen county roads are closed because of the high water. Police have begun an investigation into a couple's disappearance.
Robert Jones and Crystal Warner were last seen Sunday at a home on Texas Road in Springfield. So far, the only clue, a signal from Warner's phone last found on I-64 near Frankfort on Sunday. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is tracking the search in our top story at 5.
We were told family members searched this area of Interstate 64 in Midway for about 4 hours last night, finding no signs of the couple. That search of the I-64 area in Midway coming after police saying that is the last place Robert Jones's phone pinged. Jones and his girlfriend Crystal Warner were last seen checking on a rental property in Springfield. We are told the couple was visiting family in Letcher County before then heading there to Springfield late Sunday afternoon. Family members say Jones had previously had some issues with the tenants of his Texas Road property.
Well, they just stopped by to see when we were moving, so that's all we talked to them about.
Those tenants telling police the couple was there but left to go home to Florence around 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Around 10 o'clock that night, Jones's phone pinging in Midway. Family members now waiting on answers, saying they feel something might have gone wrong at that cabin on Texas Road.
You have to start somewhere, and you can't rule out and just take people's word for it these days. That's why I said I need to see that guy look me in the eyes and tell me my brother was there and left.
While Jones's cell phone last pinged in this area of Interstate 64 in Midway, family members say his girlfriend's cell phone last showed use in Springfield, where they were checking on that rental property. In Woodford County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Police say the couple was last seen in a gray 2012 Volkswagen Passat. One man was injured in a shooting. It happened this afternoon on Hawkins Avenue near 5th Street. Police say the victim had wounds to his hip and leg that could be life-threatening. They tell us he is not cooperating with their investigation, and they do not think the shooting is random.
It's been in the works for years, and now a highly anticipated and sometimes controversial attraction is open to the public. The Ark Encounter in Grant County welcomed its first visitors this morning. Our Victor Puente shows us opening day.
Thousands of people came to see this structure on its first full day of being open to the public. There are also a few dozen people who came to mock it. The Ark Encounter is a 510-foot-long recreation of Noah's Ark as it's described in Genesis. Visitors came from all over the world, including a former pastor from Georgia.
This gives to us maybe a little clearer understanding of what the Bible is all about.
The animals on board aren't alive, neither are some of the people. Animatronics tell the story of the days leading up to the flood. A spokesperson for Answers in Genesis says the $100 million project is privately funded, but protesters say they're upset about the millions in tax incentives a federal judge ruled they're entitled to.
They won't hire LGBTQ people. This is a huge problem for us. This is equal rights. They also make single people sign a valid chastity saying they can have sex before they're married, all while receiving up to $18 million in state tax funding.
A posting on the park's website says they do require employees to sign a statement of faith. The encounter teaches that the Earth is only several thousand years old and that man and dinosaurs coexisted. The company that runs the park says they anticipate it will draw between 1.4 and 2.2 million visitors each year.
To show that the Bible is true, the story of Noah actually happened, and to encourage people in their faith or start a conversation with people who may not have a faith.
The Ark is just the first of many attractions Answers in Genesis plans for this 800-acre property. In coming years, they plan to build a walled city, a recreation of a first-century Middle Eastern village, and a recreation of the Tower of Babel. In Grant County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The Ark Encounter will be open from 9 a.m. to midnight during its first 40 days. Getting to today's opening day did not come without a legal fight over taxes. Back in January, a federal judge sided with the creators of the Ark Encounter after the state tried to exclude them from tourism tax incentives. Those are the same types of incentives that places like Kentucky Kingdom and visitor centers at bourbon distilleries receive. They and now the Ark Encounter get a rebate of part of the sales tax that they generate for the state. Hundreds of protesters demonstrating outside the governor's mansion up in Minnesota today after police shot and killed a black man during a traffic stop.
The man's girlfriend live streamed the aftermath on Facebook. Marley Hall is in St. Paul with the latest, but we do want to warn you, this video is graphic.
Diamond Reynolds told a crowd in St. Paul that police killed her boyfriend, Philando Castile, for no reason.
He did not do nothing but what the police officer asked of us, which was to put your hands in the air and get your license and registration.
Reynolds live streamed video of Castile moments after the shooting Wednesday night in a St. Paul suburb. Reynolds said they were pulled over for a broken taillight.
He's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm.
The video shows the officer pointing his gun after the shooting.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. I wanted to put it on Facebook and go viral so that the people could see. So that the people could see. I wanted the people to determine who was right and who was wrong.
Protesters outside the governor's mansion say they're tired police killings like this keep happening again and again.
We need to create laws that protect the people from the police because the police are not protecting the people.
Governor Mark Dayton promised justice for Castile.
We're shocked and horrified by what occurred last night.
Castile was a cafeteria supervisor in the St. Paul public school system. Administrators say grief counselors will be available for students and staff. Marley Hall, CBS News, St. Paul, Minnesota.
Reynolds' young daughter was also in the car at the time of that shooting. Luckily, she was not hurt. The officer has been put on paid administrative leave. New cell phone video shows a different perspective on a deadly shooting in Louisiana. 2 Baton Rouge officers shot and killed Alton Sterling during a confrontation yesterday. The new video appears to show the officers pinning Sterling down moments before he is shot. Federal investigators are looking into the shooting.
A man pleads guilty in connection to a robbery that badly injured a pizza store employee. The deal he took a little later.
The FDA has approved a new treatment for blocked arteries, and one man is the first person to receive it. We'll tell you about the dissolvable stent in Better Living.
Severe weather again impacting parts of central and eastern Kentucky. We're firing up your Defender radar network. We'll take a tour and show you who's getting hit the hardest up next. Severe weather threat continues across parts of the area. WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. We're looking at the current warnings that are in effect, and we have a number of counties that are under flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings in a couple of cases. Adair County, Russell County, I'm looking at you. You're under both right now. In the green, flash flood warning into Pulaski County, Wayne and McCreary. The yellow, that's the severe thunderstorm warning counties that are just to the south of Louisville, all the way into the Tennessee border counties. But as expected now, northern edge of this line is beginning to break up a little bit. All of the energy, at least the best energy, is across far southern Kentucky down into Tennessee. Those storms are going to dive toward that energy. Don't have a whole lot across the bluegrass region into the northeast that's available right now. So those storms, in order to keep on keeping on, they're going to try to find the best available energy, and that is just to our south right now. Severe thunderstorm warning does go for just a couple more minutes here into parts of Columbia, Adair County, into the Russell Springs area of Russell County. Flash flood warning that we mentioned for McCreary, Pulaski, and Wayne will go until 7:45 for thunderstorms that are moving in. Monticello, what a light show we've got to our south and southwest. Folks around Lake Cumberland, Russell Springs, Jamestown, looking toward Cumberland City, toward the Kentucky-Tennessee border counties. Wow. Almost nonstop flashes coming up there. Liberty, Casey County, this is a weakening thunderstorm that is coming in. Still packing a bit of a punch with gusty winds, as these thunderstorms can sometimes collapse a little bit. They'll put out a nice little gust of wind, so that is likely on top of the Bardstown area now. And a stronger storm on that northern edge is located between E-Town and Bardstown. That's going to dive its way toward the southeast. We'll see if that can fire back up just a little bit on the leading edge of that. But severe thunderstorm warning for a matter of a few more minutes into parts of Casey County. Overall, let's put it in motion for you. Past 2 hours, look how quickly that line zips in here. One of the telltale signs, though, that you have a weakening complex of thunderstorms. Notice how we lose some of the lightning. Look at all the flashes there every 15 minutes. Then the latest 15-minute range, all of a sudden now, you don't see as much. But you notice the increase here into Tennessee and far southern Kentucky. That's where the storms are running to. They're going to try to find that energy source to kind of feed upon. Highest risk for some severe weather or some flash flooding this evening is the farther south that we go. And it is a quick drop-off to not so much of a risk into parts of central and eastern Kentucky as the rest of the evening wears on. Hang in there. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow, area-wide. Severe thunderstorm watch until 9 for the counties that are in yellow. Flash flood watch is out until through tonight. It's one of those situations to where I get what the Weather Service is doing by issuing a watch every time a cluster comes in. At this point, let's just keep the watch going and keep everybody up to date with, instead of just kind of piecemealing it with each and every thunderstorm that's out there. 7 o'clock this evening. We're going to see one more little round of thunderstorms southern Kentucky. Later tonight, tomorrow morning, one more cluster begins to develop from northwest to southeast. That'll zip its way on through here as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Get another cluster of some strong and potentially severe thunderstorms. Outside of any storms tomorrow, 90 plus is a possibility. Picking and choosing exactly where those storms are, yeah, we'll get there as we see how the Defender radar network looks tomorrow. But Saturday, hang tough, better weather day coming in with temperatures that'll top out into the mid-80s. Lower humidity, and dare I say, a mainly dry day. Yep, we're saying it. And into the day on Sunday, it could be a southern shower or a thunderstorm during that time. Stormy pattern then begins to crank up as we go toward next week yet again. Southern Kentucky this evening, though, guys, best chance for some strong and severe thunderstorms.
It's an understatement to say we need a break, especially that part of the state from all this rain.
Western Kentucky since midnight, some areas 8 to 10 inches of rain.
Way too much.
Incredible totals.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
Well, another guilty plea today in connection to a violent pizza store robbery. The deal one of the suspects made ahead.
A woman manages to call 911 after falling into a river. You'll hear her plea for help coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A man admits he played a role in a violent robbery.
18-year-old Nathaniel Davis pled guilty to charges related to the holdup at the Danville Domino's back in 2014. The clerk was shot and seriously injured. WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us the deal Davis took.
Nathaniel Davis was only 16 when Danville Domino's store clerk Zoe Reed was shot and robbed in September of 2014.
A facilitator and actively involved. We don't have him at this time as being the actual shooter, but he did play a principal role in the actual crime itself.
Davis is the third person to plead guilty in the case. Prosecutors said Robin Adams drove the four to the store. Patrick Brand called in a fake order so the delivery driver would leave. Reed was shot in the stomach and spent months at UK hospital recovering.
That she's an amazing young lady who has made a remarkable recovery based upon the injuries that she has had.
Only one person remains in this case, and that is Rico Penix. Police say he is the alleged triggerman. He could plead guilty, but if he does not, the other three people that have pleaded guilty have agreed to testify against him. Davis said very little during the plea hearing, only telling the judge that he simply wants to go home. He pleaded guilty to amended charges of robbery and assault and could serve 15 years in prison on those felony offenses.
These will stay with you for the rest of your life and carry some disabilities that will follow you forever. Do you understand that, Teresa?
Davis' final sentencing was set for August 2nd. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Davis received 10 years on the assault charge and 5 years on the robbery charge for a total of 15 years. A fallen officer's canine is in need of serious medical care. What's being done to help him? Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30.
He's the first to receive a newly approved treatment for heart problems. We'll introduce you to the first patient with a dissolvable stent next in Better Living.
A couple of new severe thunderstorm warnings to tell you about on this first alert severe weather day for Boyle, Casey, Lincoln, parts of Marion and Russell counties. Severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45. And over the past few minutes, a new severe thunderstorm warning Southern Kentucky, McCreary, Pulaski, Wayne and into Whitley County. That will go until 6:15. That includes the Williamsburg area and just to the south of sections of Somerset. Of course, we'll keep you up to date through the evening.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a new stent. While traditional stents stay in the body forever, this one dissolves within 2 to 3 years. Brian Skoloff introduces us to the first person in the U.S. to receive the device and the difference it's made for him.
So these are some of the medals and belt buckles that I've gotten from some of the races.
At 73, Doug Taylor loves to run and has competed in multiple marathons.
This is the finish line.
But the last few years have been tough.
I've had some chest pain off and on for 4 years now, and was always brought on by exercise, and so it interfered. It interfered in my life.
After having a traditional metal stent put in a partially blocked artery last month, Taylor is now the first in the U.S. to have a dissolvable stent inserted. The FDA approved the device just this week.
I like the idea that there's not a piece of metal sitting in my artery that'll be there forever.
Stents are implanted in about 850,000 U.S. patients annually for those with coronary heart disease.
REO view.
But doctors have scaled back their use in recent years due to cost and safety concerns.
Once the coronary artery is permanently caged, the vessel will never have the opportunity to grow. Do me a favor, go a little bit left. Perfect.
While the Abbott Laboratories newly approved stent is groundbreaking, dissolving inside the body in about 3 years, it comes with a caveat. It hasn't yet been shown to be any safer than older metal implants. Experts say it may take years to determine if the technology is superior, but they note it's an important step toward finding a better way to treat the leading cause of death in the U.S.
This is really a revolution in medicine. We're going to be thinking about this many years down the road, much like we thought about the first bypass surgery.
Take a look and see what we did with this demo.
Just days before the procedure, Taylor wasn't too worried about the newness of the device.
Other than being anxious about somebody messing around inside me next to my heart, no, I'm not really concerned about that.
Taylor says he's looking forward to getting back on his feet. The new device giving him hope for many more marathons. Brian Skoloff, Associated Press, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Looks fantastic.
Summer can be a bad time for children's waistlines. Experts say sleeping in, inconsistent meal times, and potentially unlimited access to unhealthy snacks can cause children to gain weight. The good news, summer weather is the perfect time to try and spend time with your child doing outdoor activities like basketball or jogging.
They can tell their children how much they enjoy exercise, and they can invite their kids to exercise along with them. So if they're going to go for a bike ride, invite your child. If you're going to go for a hike, invite your kids.
Doctors say it's also a good idea to keep your child's screen time to less than 2 hours a day any time of the year. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.